Welcome all fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for our today's meeting on uh, this. Today's meeting is based on Toastmaster pathways, and thanks for joining with us for Toastmaster Professional. Our club Toastmaster for Professional is a global online club based out of California, USA, and we focus on skills related to resume and interview preparation, career guidance, interpersonal communication, effective communication and boosting confidence, critical thinking, and handling difficult situations. So before we start today's meeting, let me narrate the three ground rules which we follow as a Toastmaster. First rule is that as a Toastmaster, we don't discuss about the sex, religion, and politics in derogatory manner. Please put yourself on mute when you are not speaking, and please turn off your video if you are stepping out of the meeting. So now let us start today's meeting without further ado. Today, Toastmaster of the day, our own Toastmaster Raghu, who will be taking us through the Toastmaster pathway. Toastmaster pathways are a comprehensive program that provides member tools and resources which they need to develop their communication and leadership skills and become a confident speaker and effective leaders. So with that, I would hand over to Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Raghu. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jay. Just give me a minute. Mary, can you please check your WhatsApp once? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Pathways. Before I start, how many in the room have selected your pathway or a path? Okay. It's for everyone. Today we are going to discuss how pathways helps professional to do better. Let's start with some basics and then understand how we can use it for our professional growth. And I'm going to share some stories from my own life. How did it help me? A minute. Let me share my screen. Now, talking about pathways. So how did the Toastmaster education program evolve over a period? It came from different steps. They introduced different programs at different period. When pathways came in, it started introducing something like anybody can start on any path. There is no discrimination or differentiation. And then you need to complete certain paths when you just progressing certain projects, if you want to progress through levels, and then you want to get some certificates. Talking about competencies, today Pathways has to offer about 300 plus competencies. There are about 11 pathways that it has to offer. But talking about competencies, there are 5 core competencies. Now, if I ask a question to all of you, why did you join Toastmaster? Or to the guest, why do you want to join Toastmasters? Let us say, Miguel, why do you want to join Toastmasters?
Thank you. Basically, number one, public speaking. And in my career, that's the biggest challenge that I've had. As higher as I get in a professional setting, is a public speaking part. That's what my biggest thing that I'm looking for to take out of Toastmasters.
Thank you. If I ask the question same, let us say our most senior member in this club has joined Toastmaster 3 decades ago. Let me ask her, distinguished Toastmaster Susan, why did you join Toastmasters way back then?
I joined because personally, I was timid to speak out loud. I was offered opportunities to speak and I hesitated. and I didn't have the confidence that I needed. Toastmasters has changed all of that.
Thank you very much. So talking about, we all get attracted to this program or come to this program for two things, public speaking, and second thing is building confidence, right? These are the main goals when we come across, but then we know it has a lot to offer on the platter when it is served on the table. Other three core competencies that this program has to offer is interpersonal communication. What is interpersonal communication? Is about how do you communicate. The communication varies when you're talking to the person at different level, whether it is a professional level or it is your family or informal communication or formal communication. But then end of day, your communication should be able to build a rapport and also relationship. Why? Because that helps you to grow and become a better person. For example, if you are building rapport at your office, or let us say with your clients, you're able to grab multi-million project in your client, or maybe in your office, you're able to grab a promotion, are able to get things done, right? Then is strategic leadership. How do you make your leadership strategic leadership? The tagline of Toastmasters is where leaders are made. When you're able to utilize your leadership, or rather leverage your leadership skills and extend it, well, when it's doing some projects where leadership skills are required, or whether it is taking roles in the club, or whether it's roles taking at the district level, this helps you to improve your leadership skills and then leverage them in your personal or professional life. And talking at the next thing is leading and managing. Managing or leading is not some easy task. When I had to manage two people in beginning of my leadership journey in my professional life, I had a lot of issues. Because one of them wanted to surpass me and then become a manager himself instead of my place. And the other one was a lot senior to me. Then I faced a lot of issues. But when Toastmasters has helped me to practice and to develop my skills, it was natural for me to take up three teams that I'm working with right now. You see, so these five competencies are what are the deciding factors for us to choose which one path you want to start with. The other two competencies that Toastmaster offers or pathways offers indirectly is critical thinking and active listening. Without these two, it is difficult to manage situations, right? You need to be able to think critically and talk on the spot. Second thing, active listening. If you're not an active listener or a proper listener, you cannot grow as an individual. You cannot grow as a leader. I used to have a manager who used to call me for one-on-one, and what he used to do is his attention was everywhere, spilled on the call or talking to somebody else. 2 to 3 meetings, and I decided never to attend any one-on-ones with him. I didn't even care to go for my P4P. I just submitted my meets P4P and then asked him to take care of it. I didn't even care because he was never actively listening. You lose yourself as a leader if you're not actively listening. Then that you learn whether it is the roles in the meeting, whether it is evaluating somebody's speech, or doing certain projects in Toastmaster pathways. Now, these are the competencies that are deciding factors. Now, these are the 11 paths that Pathways program has to offer. You might be lost. Out of 11 paths, what and why should I select any of them? Now, we talked about 5 core competencies. That is the first deciding factor because each path has to offer out of 5, 4 or 2 competencies, depending upon the path. Second thing is, what are your aspirations from Toastmasters? Third thing is your personal and professional goals. Align these 3 and then select one path. And I would say, whenever you're joining Toastmasters, if you're just newly joined Toastmasters, work on one. This is not a race, rat race rather, where you want to complete one path in some months or you want to get some certification done. You're not here for that. We all are here to become a better version of ourselves by using the skills that we learn in Toastmasters in our personal and professional life. That should be your first goal. Now, coming back to pathways, how do you select a path? First, look at this competencies. For example, if I look at dynamic leadership, it has to offer 4 competencies. 1 and 5 is building confidence and public speaking are common across all 11 pathways. The deciding factors are the other 3 competencies. Dynamic leadership has public speaking and confidence, and then interpersonal communication, and 3 is strategic leadership. Now, for example, you want to develop your leadership skills. Dynamic leadership is one of the best path that you can choose if you are an individual contributor and are looking forward for a role and a leadership. Or let us say you are a new leader, new manager, and you want to develop your skills as a manager. You may be senior manager too. Then any level, you can choose this to enhance both public speaking and your leadership skills. Effective coaching, what does it has to offer? For management. You see that for management? Now, if you're in a leadership role, like I would say something like vice president or senior vice president, or maybe senior manager, where you have to coach others and make leaders, this is something that you need to choose. Engaging humor, when you want to tickle somebody's tickle bone, and then you want to enhance your humor skills, engaging humor is the one for you. If you want to improve the way that you plan, innovating planning. If you want to develop your leadership skills, leadership development is one for you. Now, if you look at dynamic leadership and leadership development, 3 changing to 4 here, completely management. Motivational strategies. If you want to become a motivational speaker or want to develop strategies to motivate people, this is the one for you. When I started my journey in Toastmasters, I had one hindrance in my life. I was not able to persuade my team members in my office to do certain things or to get the job done. I choose persuasive influence as a path. Then at the time of completion, I had the skills to persuade my team. And guess what? I was able to achieve the goals that were necessary with their help. Presentation mastery is one when you want to improve your presentation skills. Presentation skills are not necessarily your PPT, the way that you give your speech, the way that you show visual aids, everything. It all depends upon how you present even yourself in your office. This is where you are learning all those skills. Strategic relationship. There's a saying that your network is your net worth. In your office, if you have to get something done easily, you need to have relationship built in there, right? For example, I cannot go and say to my coworker, DTM Susan, can you get it done? If I have a relationship, Susan, can you please do it? And then guess what? She's ready to do it immediately. She will not she will not say the usual tat is 2 to 4 days. Come back after 4 days. Nah, she will just do it in another 2 minutes. That is where you are developing through this project. This pathways helps you to enhance those skills there. Team collaboration. How do you develop collaborative team is something that you develop. You know about that. Visionary communication. as a leader, as an individual contributor, as a person, whatever you are communicating, spoken or written, you have to have vision for it. There is a repercussion that can happen in the future for what you are doing now. So this visionary communication is something that's going to help you. You see, 3 things help you decide the path. 5 core competencies, and which one you want to align with. Second thing is, what is that goal that you have joined Toastmaster for? Third thing is, what are your personal aspirations in your life? For now, I'll park here and come back and introduce our role players. Let me introduce the grammarian for today, Toastmaster Maya. Maya, can you please introduce the word of the day and also explain your role for today?
Thank you, Toastmaster. As a grammarian, my role is to note all the good usage of English, phrases, idioms, and not so good usage as well. I'm also supposed to give you the word of the day, and the word of the day is perspicacious. It is an adjective and having a ready insight into an understanding of things. Example, it offers quite a few facts to the perspicacious reporter. I hope you will use this word to the fullest in all your speeches today and in days to come. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Maya. That's a tongue twister. We'll try to use it as much as possible if our tongue works well. Perspicacious. Do you want to help us practice it, Maya?
Perspicacious.
No, help us practice it. Why don't you send it as a round robin for all of us to practice it in a word of the day?
How do I do it?
Help us pronounce it,
Please.
Ashwin.
I'll give it a shot. No, I need my tongue exercises. First perspective. It's like we're all drunk. What's going on here? Perspicacious?
Perspicacious.
Does that
Milind?
count?
Probably. Milind?
It's an adjective.
So Toastmaster Raghu is indeed a perspicacious person as far as pathways knowledge is concerned. Is that okay, Maya?
Yes, correct.
Wow. I'm flattered.
Excellent example.
I'll go and tell Kalpana that I don't need anything for breakfast. Okay. Thank you very much, Maya. Now it's time to know a little bit more about pathways, coming back to our presentation. Now, talking about alignment with our professionalism, right? Now, we'll talk a little bit more in pathways. What does it have to offer? Each path, when we talk about 11 pathways, each path has 5 levels to offer. Now, if you know any professional program, first level remains same, right? For example, if you're engineering, first year are almost common subjects across all the streams, or rather at least first semester. Now, similarly, in pathway, first level is all about mastering fundamentals, all common projects across different paths rather. 2, learning your style, where you learn about your style, leadership, communication, and the way that you manage time, etc., etc. Level 3 is where you increase your knowledge. Increase your knowledge for that path and then start utilizing that for professional. 4 is building skills, where you have some long speeches or some projects where you need to practice something or plan something, and then you give a speech based upon that. Sometimes it is a speech before the plan, and then second speech after the execution of the plan. Level 5 is demonstrating expertise. Most of them are practical, but then there are speeches, and then even some projects where you need to moderate a panel discussion. Does it sound interesting for you, Miguel? Is this something that you want to see? Miguel, are you there?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Right. But
Very interested.
talking about first level, icebreaker. Let me ask somebody else in the room, what is the first question that you encounter in any interview? Let me ask Shukrat. In any interview, what is the first question that you face?
In any interview, the first question we face is, where are you from? What you do?
Okay. Dilip?
Yeah, tell me about yourself. That is the question I got most from any interview.
Thank you. And guess what? This project is all about it. First project is icebreaker, where you speak everything about yourself in 4 to 6 minutes. Is it not something preparing you for that interview question? Tell me something about yourself. And this doesn't have any limitation. Talk about anything here. And you can 4 to 6 minutes is the timeline that you made. And guess what? More you practice giving speeches, more you practice stable topics in any meeting, you practice to be in time even in your interviews. There's also one pathway project, which is where you can practice giving an interview. The second speech, a project, is writing a speech with a purpose. Everything that we do have to have a purpose, whether it is written communication, emails, or whether it is that you talk to somebody. You need to evolve around that purpose, and this is the project that helps you do that. Third thing project is where you need to enhance your vocal variety and body language in your speech. The last is evaluation and feedback. Now, unless you are able to take feedback and then implement that, you cannot grow. And then people cannot look at you as a leader, right? For example, I myself do not take feedback from you and expect you to take my feedback, then you look at me like a loser. That's exactly how it is. Now, this project pushes you to do that. Give a speech, take feedback, and implement that by giving a second speech. And third is you need to evaluate somebody. So you have to be an active listener. Only then you can evaluate somebody and giving the proper exact feedback. Now, let us say, rather, let me demonstrate. There are so many leaders or rather managers who give us random feedback. Are you happy with that? They tell you, you do that, do this, but they never talk on specific. But at the same time, there are managers who give you specific feedback and you feel so good about it, even if it is criticizing, because that is helping you to grow better. Talking about that, let us demonstrate this pathways more by our two prepared speeches today. Our first speaker for today is Raghuram Kara, and his evaluator today is Dr. Mary Thomas, who is joining from Philippines. Dr. Mary Thomas, can you please give speech objectives for Raghuram?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, and to my speaker, Toastmaster Raghuram. I am evaluating how you deliver a well-organized speech on any topic. I would also be focusing on both of these. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mary. Raghuram, can you please confirm that you're able to see the timer cards? Ashwin, can you flash them if possible? Are you able to see the timer cards?
I can see you, but I can't see the timer card.
Can you pin Ashwin Patel? Can
Yeah,
you
I
see
can
now?
see him now. I can see him now. Yeah.
Wonderful. Toastmaster Raghuram, life in and after pandemic. Life in and after pandemic, Toastmaster Raghuram.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu and Dr. Mary. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about our life during and after pandemic. I'd like to talk about the pros and cons. Before I start, how many of you remember your first month of the pandemic? Just raise your hand if you remember it. Yeah, we can't forget it, right? So I just wanted to share my experience as well. I'll start with cons. As we all know, pandemic has changed many things in the world. There are many challenges and changes in our lives as well, which I would like to share with you all. It was in March 2020 when the pandemic was spreading rapidly all over the world. My office was about to close, and we all have been told to start working from home. We were living in a one-bedroom apartment with a toddler at home, along with my mother-in-law who had visited us. We have given our one bedroom to my mother-in-law, and my wife, daughter, and I used to sleep in the living room. I had to set up my office area as well in the same living room. As I am in the production support side of the IT world, I used to be on the calls for hours together whenever there is a major production issue. Initially, I had a hard time being on calls when my toddler daughter was roaming around, thinking the others on the call might get disturbed due to her all sorts of sounds. Within a month or so, I became perspicacious. The other challenge is we live in Cincinnati, Ohio, where we'll have extreme cold weathers during winter time. That is November through March. During this time, we were like almost house arrest. There's nothing that we can do outside. But during normal years, March is the time where we go out of our house for walking, playing, any outdoor sports, shopping, catching up with friends, visit places, etc. But in 2020, our house arrest has extended for a few more months. Just imagine being in a one-bedroom apartment for almost close to 6 to 7 months, how it would be. Though I got used to the work from home culture, not meeting anyone face to face, living inside those four walls of that apartment, hearing some bad news from the known families made my mind feel restless. In spite of these challenges around us, my wife and I decided to stay positive and took some strong decisions. We'll talk about it now. The positive side of the pandemic. Now I'd like to talk about the positive side of the pandemic. As we couldn't go out anywhere, we could save little more money than usual, as there were no expenses related to gas, going to restaurants, going to theaters, travel, etc. At about the same time, the home loan interests went down drastically in the US. We were planning to move to a bigger space for quite some time, but due to these reasons, we could make it happen. Though the things around us was uncertain, we decided to buy a house. In June 2020, we have signed a contract, and in August 2020, we moved to our new house. This is a dream come true for us. I would like to conclude now. Stay positive, stay resilient, Though your surroundings are not as expected, things will fall in place automatically. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Raghuram. Ashwin, can you? Yeah, thank you very much. I request everyone to take 1 minute to share your feedback in private to Raghuram. Timer, please give me 1 minute.
One minute, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Ashwin. Now, let us look into the further dwelling. When you master the fundamentals, the second thing is learning your style. When you come to your style, what is that? This level helps you not only study the beautiful material given in pathways, it also helps you to introspect how you have been doing this, whether it is the leadership, whether it is your communication, what is your primary style, and then how you could have done better and how you can do it better now. For example, understanding your leadership style, you go through a certain questionnaire, and because that based on that questionnaire, it helps you your dominant find the dominant what is the main leadership style. Communication style helps you to establish what is your dominant communication style and what are the featured characteristics of your style, how you can enhance them to be better. It doesn't push you to do anything, but it helps you to decide. The beauty of this project is just like any mentor or rather coach who asks you questions, and based upon that questionnaire giving those inputs, it is subtle feedback helps you to see why you failed as a leader, why you failed in your communication earlier. It helped me to introspect what I did not do well in my leadership earlier and how can I improve that now. Connect with your audience helps you to connect with the audience, right? I cannot go and talk in a doctor terminology before an audience who don't understand it. I, as a software engineer, I cannot go and talk in the terms of a software technique. Or rather, when there is an unfamiliar audience, how do I connect to them? Because they don't know me, but I have to make a connection. So by asking questions or by bringing an interesting topic for them to be glued to. All this is what you're learning. Time management. Vamshi is attempting managing time. How we can improve management time. You need to observe for 2 to 3 weeks in your own life how you are managing time and how you improve that. Effective body language, cross-cultural understanding. And guess what? The beauty of this club is that we have people across continents, and then we need to understand each other. There have been several instances where people were insensitive to this cross-cultural understanding, and there are so many problems with that. But this project is going to help you on that. I still remember one of my friends who is in a Lima, Peru Toastmasters in Peru. When she joined our club meeting in India, she did all the research on Indian culture before doing her speech. And this helped her to understand not only about our culture, same time to do her speech better. This is about level 2. And I talked about in between because our friend, next speaker, Toastmaster Vamsi, is attempting level 2 project. And let me invite Toastmaster Ekta, who is his speech evaluator, to talk a little bit more about this project objectives. Ekta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. Hi all, I'm Ekta Agarwal. I'm the evaluator for Vamsi's speech today. He is giving the project level 2 on leadership, which is time management. And time management is very important for all of us. Over to you, Vamsi. All the very best for today.
Thank
you. Thank you, Raghu.
Thank you very much, Vamsi. I want you to adjust your camera a bit. Can you go a little back? Okay, wonderful. Learn to manage your time wisely is a speech title for Vamsi. Toastmaster Vamsi. Learn to manage your time wisely. Learn to manage your time wisely. Toastmaster Vamsi.
Thank you, Raghu. Greetings of the day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. A famous quote by Brian Tracy said, time management is about self-management. A few years ago, I was working on the project that requires a lot of research, planning, and coordination. I had the team to work with me. We had a tight deadline to finish my project. I found myself working for long hours and make it working done. But however, one day I attended the training seminar on time management that helped me to manage my time effectively. What is time management? I want to hear you answer from any one of you in the meeting. Yeah, I will give 10 seconds to answer this question. Yeah. I will ask. Maya?
When the time management for me is when I complete given task or the goal, what I set for me for a particular day. If I complete it in the given time, which I have already set that particular, and completing it, that's the time management for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maya. And Ashwin?
I'm sorry, Vamsi. What was the question again? I apologize.
What is like time management and why it is important? Yeah, that is.
Oh my goodness, time management it's very important so you don't waste time doing non-essential things. I think if we focus our time and manage it well, we could accomplish a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Ashwin. Yeah, the time management is the planning and organizing the different activities to make our time more effectively. And why it is important, the time management? The time management is important to achieve the goals. That is the first thing. Second point is to use like our time effectively and efficiently. The third one is to manage our daily routine work in effective way. I have learned some of the steps that manage the time effectively. I will tell you the SIP MME technique that helped me to manage the time effectively. The first step is setting our goals. Choose whatever I want to achieve the goal. First, I set the goal. That is the first step. The second step is the identifying the steps. I divide the goal into the smaller ones and actionable steps. The third step is allocating the time. After dividing my tasks into these smaller ones, I allocating the time to each of my tasks. That is the third step. Fourth step is to prioritize the tasks. After allocating the time, what I did, prioritize my task. There are number of tasks need to do within time based on the priority, which is the highest priority. I did the first, and that's the other priorities in the second, and the last, and so on and so forth. The fifth one is monitoring our progress. When I doing my achieving a goal, I monitor my progress, what went well and what didn't. And the sixth step is minimize the distractions. I used to watch the TV and all, like in the previously. That take away my time to waste time of the time to achieve my goal. Seventh one is evaluation. This is I like the step. This is the step I want to tell you. Evaluating my tasks, which how much I progressed and where I lagged into the what are the causes. It is to stop my progress for evaluating myself. These are the 7 steps, that is SIP MMA technique, that helped me to manage the time effectively. I would like to tell you some of the strategies that helped me to manage the time efficiently. The first strategies which I followed is the to-do list. Second strategy is not to-do list. The to-do list, let's start with the to-do list. Before beginning to any tasks, first I noted down the tasks which are important, and based on the priority, I set it up. To-do list is the great way of organizing the tasks and make it our progress in effective way. And as a part of to-do list, what I did, like breaking my goal tasks into the smaller ones and smaller and achievable ones. Coming to the non-to-do list. Non-to-do list is the list of activities that taking the time to manage effectively, not manage the time effectively. That I realized that some of the time where it is going for time in different way, that to-do list might help me to bring my time use it in effective manner. In conclusion, time management is a crucial skill that helps to achieve our goals and increase our productivity and manage like our lives easily. Yeah, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vamsi. You hear 2 great speeches from speakers today. Toastmaster Raghuram talking about the life in pandemic. Of course, it was in chaos, but same time, we had some benefits. And then Vamshi talking about time management. We in Toastmasters help each one of the speakers, each role players with the timer role to be on time, to start on time, to end on time. Unless you respect somebody's time, people do not respect you, right? And that is what we are learning in Toastmasters. I request timer to give me one minute, and everybody please share your feedback to the speaker in private chat. Thank you very much, Ashwin. I want to recognize the guests who have just joined, Rajat Gupta and Hasina, who have joined in between. Welcome to the meeting. Let us dwell into the next level, increasing knowledge in level 3. Now, I love this level a lot because you need to complete one core project and there are about 14 to 16 electives. And these electives help you a lot, whether it is connect with the audience or connect with storytelling, where you learn the skill, how you can connect to the audience, where you can customize your speeches based upon the audience present in the room. I still remember one of my professor in my engineering who used to come into the class, and irrespective of whether we were in the mood to listen or not, he used to just crack a joke and he used to bring us back in the mood and start his class. Now that is a technique that you learn how to connect with the audience and make them listen to you. Now these are something that in level 3, core and also and electives, present a proposal, where you learn how to present a proposal. Don't you do it as part of your professional career, where you present a proposal to your customer? Even as an entrepreneur, you do this, right? Planning and implementing. We need to plan our projects, where even if it is sales or even if it is a project in IT, in any way, how do you plan and implement? Here you need to plan and implement and then talk about that. How did it go? Whether there was any problems and how did you overcome that, etc. as part of this project. Understanding emotional intelligence. This is a necessary task for you as an individual contributor when working in a team or as a manager, and you learn the tactic here, conflict resolution. Where don't you see conflict? Starting with your wife at home or your husband at home, and then it goes to every level, there are conflicts. But how do you manage that? And guess what? When you resolve your conflicts, there's always higher chances that you become best friends. And how do you do that is what you learn is negotiate the best outcome is where you learn negotiation skills, make connections through networking. Your network is your net worth. How do you do that? How do you build your networking skills is what you learn. Successful collaboration, develop a communication plan. These are something that you learn as part of this. These are just core projects. Trust me, there are a lot more that path has to offer as electives, whether it's connecting with audience or talking about body language. There's one project talks about just your voice modulation, voice profiling. How did you use different voices, or rather how the pitches in your complete speech? First time I did this project, it was marvelous. I felt great there using different voice modulation and looking at the improvement areas. How can I improve that? Implementing in my speech. When you add your emotions to what you speak, people are with you and they love to do it. When you add your excitement in your speech, and how do you do that? Is all with voice modulation and the body language. And that's what you learn as part of this. See, this is why I say pathways are for professionals. We learn more, but right now it's time to enhance our skills in critical thinking, which is our table topics. And our beautiful Toastmaster Amanda, joining from China today, is our table topic master. Amanda, stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen. So in today's table topic session, we will play something a little bit funny. Okay, so who will be the first volunteers for the table topic session? Do we have Anna? Do you want me to?
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, this is your first questions. When you are done, which one do you prefer? French fries or ice creams, and why? It's your time.
Thank you, TTM. I think I prefer ice cream. The reason why I didn't choose French fries, because I'm kind of person, I really care about some food I eat. I usually think the French fries is unhealthy food. The reason why when I was down, I choose ice cream because I think sweet thing can cheer up my mood, even though I seldom eat ice cream because I just eat maybe one time, 1 month. I would like to say when you were down, maybe you don't need to care about it is unhealthy food or healthy food. You just choose something can cheer you up. Thank you. Back to you, Amanda.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, so Anna choose ice cream, right? If I can choose, I choose both. Okay, who will be the next one?
We have Doreen who has lifted.
Okay. Okay, if we are getting married soon, which do you prefer, beer or Coca-Cola, and why? It's your time.
Thank you for the question. I do have a wedding to go to this year because my son is getting married this summer. However, admittedly, I personally am not able to drink either one of them. I happen to be autoimmune. And if you're not familiar, autoimmune get cytokine storms from many foods. If you've ever had COVID, you had a fever plus a lot of cytokine storms. The cytokine storms would be the source of your migraines, brain fog, fatigue, aches, and the likes. The way I control them is I don't eat the food that is tender to my cytokine storm. So I do not consume any gluten or wheat products. And I absolutely don't do any manufactured or processed foods. My organic gluten-free cocoa is technically processed and my rolled oats are technically processed, but those are the only processed foods I eat. So I will definitely be celebrating, but I'll choose the water in the middle that was used to make both of them. How's that?
Okay. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question.
That is another wise choice. Okay, thank you. Who I see.
Milind has asked to participate before. After that, we have Mary.
Okay.
I think, but Mary has raised her hand. I didn't raise my hand. So I'll go after Mary because she raised. So thank you.
Okay.
I'll go after Mary.
Okay, Mary, this is your question. If you are unemployed, sorry, this is the condition. Which do you prefer, household or television? It's your time.
So is that my question?
Yes. Mary, it's your time.
To be perfectly honest, I would not prefer doing household chores or television. My perspicaciousness leads me to understand that I need to find a job. So I would not want to take time, certainly watching TV. And I can do the household chores when I get home after looking for a job. I would be in the mode of getting myself prepared to go out for an interview, using some of the examples that have been highlighted in the training tonight, as I would look to improve my communication skills and be able to go out and participate in an interview. And after doing so, I would then possibly come home and relax and watch TV, but definitely not before I would go out to find employment, because by being employed, it would give me a sense of self-confidence, of self-worth. I would feel better about who I am as an individual, because that person that's sitting on the floor seems very exasperated about life and the fact that she has so much to do. And the person that's sitting there with no shoes on watching TV is just so relaxed and chilled with food on the table. So I would want to be employed. That would give me a sense of direction and a sense of purpose and who I am. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Okay, thanks, Mary. Very energetic and positive presentation. Thank you. And the last one, do we have the last one?
We have Milind.
Okay, will be the last questions. Okay, when you travel, which do you prefer? Seas or mountain? Sea city or mountain city?
Thank you. Thank you, Table Topic Master. First of all, you have really spoiled me by these two choices that you have given. Like somebody just now said, given a choice, I would I would like to do both. But now that I have to choose one, I will choose the sea. You know, many of you would not be knowing, but I had lived for 24 years in a city called Muscat along in the Gulf. And my house where I used to stay, the sea was just about not even a mile from the place where I was staying. And the beaches were beautiful. And I would encourage all of you to, definitely take a holiday to this wonderful city called Muscat. And now for the last 5 years, I have come back to India and I live in a city called Pune, where the sea is very far away. I had to travel almost about 100 miles if I had to go to the beach. And therefore, if I am given a choice, definitely I would prefer the sea. The sea, brings in so much of a joy to my mind. Number one, it makes me, nostalgic about those wonderful years that I had in Muscat. You just get into the water, you take a swim or take a walk. I used to do that so very often. Leave the house at about 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday. It used to be the weekly off. And walk for a good 4 or 5 miles on the sea, sometimes barefooted. It's so very nice in the early morning if you are walking on the sea without wearing shoes and just enjoying the sunrise. The birds start flying around that time. The waves are murmuring in your ears, and it is mesmerizing. That's the time when I used to introspect. I used to spend a lot of time thinking about how I'm going to do in the coming week at my office, or what did I do during the last week, and so on and so forth. So undoubtedly, Table Topic Master, if you give me a choice, I would any day go for the sea. But if you allow me, I would prefer both. Why not? Back to you.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. Yeah, I choose both. Okay, so thanks everyone, and for our table topic session, go back to Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you very much for such a wonderful table topic. I really loved your PowerPoint presentation today, Amanda. And myself, I felt that I should have participated, but then we should give room for others to learn and grow, right? Talking about room and growth, time to look at our level 4 on path. This is where you learn. I want people to raise your hand if you have children or have taught children or have faced difficult audience where people kept disturbing you in a room. Wonderful. Now you see, this project in level 4, managing a difficult audience, is all about you to handle the difficult audience. A couple of months back, I went to give a presentation in a college, and then people were murmuring, people were chatting, cross discussions, and then whispering, etc. I realized after some time that it was an actual managing a difficult audience project that I'm facing. And then I used the techniques there, and then I was able to calm them and then listen to my presentation. There you learn it. In Toastmasters, people keep quiet. But then outside, no, people have something to talk, something to interrupt, something to ask you. How do you answer that? How do you handle that is what you learn as part of it. Manage change. How do you manage change? And then how do you present it? Instead of managing change, the problem is how do you communicate the change? Now I have 2 sons. Elder one has the difficulty whenever there's a change, while my younger one adapts to easily. So we have to communicate to him if there's a change coming to, especially my elder son. So how do you do that? Because it's not just my elder son, it's always there. Some of the audience are not ready for the change. And how do you communicate? How you do that is something that you learn as part of it. Manage projects successfully. We all manage some project, whether it is on your sales or whether it is on IT or with something that you're doing as part, but even your picnic plan, even whatever you plan to do is a project. And how do you manage that? So how do you do here? Here you give a speech talking about your plan and then your goals, and then give a project, and then at the end again a speech. Leading your team to establish something that you learn here. What are the different strategies that you do, and give a speech talking about your experience. Motivating a group of people to do something over a period of time. You work with your team in your office or in your house or outside. Even if you're doing some charity work that you're doing as part of this, and give here. Managing, leading in a difficult situation, irrespective of difficult situation, we need to lead. That's what you learn here. Public relationship strategies. How do you advertise yourself? How do you advertise some project that you're doing? Talking about that, we had a session in our club talking about how do you improve, or rather, how do you elevate your presence in your company? Even that is one of the public relationship strategies. Unless you advertise yourself, nobody else is going to do it, right? For example, you have done some good work. It is you who have to use the choice of words to advertise yourself that you have done this and elevate yourself, especially in your year-end discussions or anywhere else. This is something that you use. For example, you want to start a business, you want to advertise a shop, or you want to advertise, you're being a doctor, you want to advertise that how good you are. You use different techniques, whether it is social media, or whether it is that you're interacting with people, or whether it is you're doing a good presentation and putting a poster somewhere, something. Then you improving, then communication change. How do you communicate the change? Something that you're learning as part of this. The level 5 is more practicing, demonstrating your expertise, is leading in any situation. How do you lead different, irrespective of situation? High performance leadership. We all get into a situation where we need to show our high performance leadership. As part of this, you need to establish a goal. You need to have a team. You need to have smart goals. And then you need to establish a timeline by which you will do. You need to have a communication plan, how you will do it. And then there is a team guiding committee who helps us. So with all this, how do you do that? In the end, you also need to get 360 degrees feedback. Most of the organization now is trying to work upon 360 degrees feedback, where everybody gets to give feedback to one person, or you also get to give feedback to your manager. So as a leader, you try to understand your feedback from the team that you worked upon. For example, when I work with a team recently to get something done, I learned that I need to improve the way that I can include others in my plan. And second thing, I also learned that I have to start giving work to others and then calm myself and do not just get into that and jump into getting things done. This is what you learn as part of this. Team building activity is something that we do regularly. And guess what? This team building project has helped me to do team building activities even in my meetings on a regular basis. So people were so happy instead of having those boring meetings. The 10 to 15 minutes team building activities is helping them to know each other. They have been working together for almost 3 to 4 years. But after I started team building, they got to know each other better. And also it has helped us to establish as one of the best teams. Prepare to speak professionally, where you get to speak for 18 to 22 minutes. Now remember those moments where you have to present your ideas, or where you have to present something to the customer. This is the place which is helping you, project helping you to prepare for those moments. These are what helps you to grow as a leader. And this journey in Pathways is going to enhance your learning experience in Toastmasters and same time prepare you for your personal and professional life. Well, you want to know more? I will give it back to our general evaluator today, who will help you see how we get feedback in Toastmasters. While everybody else judges you outside Toastmasters, in Toastmasters, you get the feedback, what, why, and how. DTM Susan Sells, who is a 2 times DTM and is a Toastmaster for 3 decades now. I give it back to her to help us see how we can do better or how did we do it so far. DTM Susan.
Thank you, Raghu, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. It is during this time of our meeting where we have the opportunity to help one another learn and grow by the feedback that we will offer. We evaluate with empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. How would you feel if you heard that said to you? We do it with kindness. We offer those moments of improvement as gifts to one another because we want the member to learn and grow. So first up, we have our planned evaluators. First one is Dr. Mary Thomas, Distinguished Toastmaster Dr. Mary Thomas, who will be evaluating Raghu Ramgar. Please help me welcome Dr. Mary.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Susan Schultz. And of course, to my speaker, Toastmaster Raghuram. The title of his speech was Life During and After the Pandemic. You started out with a question. The moment you ask a question, I personally like that. Immediately, you get engagement from your audience. In other words, you immediately win your audience over. And that's a very great way to start a speech. Secondly, I noticed that you use this very, very difficult word of the day, which is perspicacious. I think I'm going to have difficulty even using this word, but I'm going to say it so that it looks like I used it. Perspicacious. You also explained the difficulties during the lockdown, the house arrest, the one positive thing that you did, which was you purchased your own home, which is actually a very great achievement for any young couple. You also spoke about while you purchased your house, you also saved money. I would think that your speaking style is one of casual and informative. It's very casual, nothing very serious. It's not down your, shall I call it down your throat? It's a very casual and informative kind of style, which is what I noticed. Now let's look at the areas where you absolutely need some improvement. First of all, the speech is expected to be one where it is well constructed. A well-constructed speech is one where you have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. What happened here is you have an intro, you have a body, but there was no conclusion. To me, it was an abrupt ending. So you would want to look at how you want to write up a good organized speech. Next is you need to look at your title. Your title of your speech was Life During and After the Pandemic. Now, you need to dissect the title and talk about it. So here we have life, we have during, you have after, and then you have the big word here, pandemic. You need to describe that so that we have a good understanding about what life was during and what is life now after the pandemic. So that gives you a lot of space for expansion in your speech. You could have spoken about the pandemic itself, and most importantly, you could have spoken about COVID. COVID was a big issue, and that's the reason why we had the lockdown. If there was no COVID, there would be no lockdowns. Next, of course, the critical one would be your timing. You ended your speech at 4:31, which means you had a good 3 minutes more to go. I would say that when you expand your speech, that's how you would have filled up that extra 3 minutes. I would strongly recommend that you follow up with your mentor or your evaluator. In my case, I'm going to be your next evaluator as well, so that we can improve your speech and come up with a full 7 minutes or a 7:30 speech. Expand on the topic if you wish. I would like to see your second speech improved. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Dr. Mary. And remember, we take this feedback as an offering of improvement opportunities. They're not criticisms or critiques to make us feel bad. They are to build us. And that's what you had, someone who cares about you enough to offer those helpful hints. Next, we have our second evaluator, who is going to be Ekta, and she's going to be evaluating Vamsi. Please help me welcome Ekta.
Hi all, thank you, General Evaluator Susan. And special thanks to Vamsi, our speaker that I'm going to evaluate today. It was an amazing speech where he explained the importance of time management. He started off with a great question to engage the audience, which was very well received. And I think the way he structured, giving clearly the 7 aspects of time management was very well laid down. And he also concluded by giving 2 instances of whether we should have a to-do list and a not to-do list as well. This was a new one for me, which I probably take home myself. So great speech, Vamsi. Few things that you could do better was time management. I think your speech was something where you could have used the time effectively, completely. Second, you wanted to use hand gestures and wanted me to observe on that particular aspect, but I could not see a lot of hand gestures, which I think, and eye contact also was not as evident. So these 2, which you wanted to be observed on, I think you can specifically do better on. So thank you, and back to your General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ekta. Again, all of our members are also learning evaluations, so we will always improve our evaluations as well as we continue to explore. Next, we have some other members of our team that were listening throughout most of the meeting and paying attention, and we call that our tag team. And I'm going to start off with first our timer, who needed to pay attention. So please help me welcome Ashvin Patel. How did we do on our timing?
Thank you, Madam General not timer, that would be weird, Madam General Evaluator. So Raghuram had 4 minutes and 31 seconds. And his evaluator, Mary Thomas, was 3 minutes and 52 seconds. Vamsi, your speech was 6 minutes and 31 seconds. Ekta, your evaluation was 1 minute and 20 seconds. And for our table topic session, Anna, yours was 1 minute and 4 seconds. Doreen, 1 minute and 1 second. And DeMarie, 1 minute and 27 seconds. And Millen, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And that's my report, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you. So with only one exception, we were within the 30 seconds leeway of a speech, either under or over, with one exception today. And the reason we do the timing, of course, is to make sure we can fit it all in on our agenda. And we're almost there. We're racing to the finish. We next have our counter. Anna, would you please tell us how we did on filler words today?
Thank you, General Evaluator Susan. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, dear Toastmaster, fellow member, and distinguished guests. Here is our R report. Rahul, congratulations, even though you give a very long speech, but I didn't catch during you did your speech. And for prepared speech section, Rahul Ram Nan and vanish, you use one time, but you repeat the previous word you say 3 times. During the TT section, I think Doreen, Mary, and I think I'm the people speak the most. During the evaluation, Mary, you speak twice. Ekta, you use 3 times. And I accidentally catch timer Ashwin twice. So here is my report. I think that's the reason why I choose R counter, because it will remind me as R counter, I need to speak less. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Very thorough. We appreciate that. And finally, we have our grammarians report. Maya, who's going to tell us how many of us were perspicacious in being able to use the word of the day, and if she noticed any irregularities in our grammar or anything specifically memorable for today.
Thank you, Toastmasters Susan. The usage of the word for today used by Raghuram Kara, then D. Mary, Dr. Mary, Susan Milind. And there was a good usage of words that I could pick up was used by Milind, mesmerizing. Also, D. Mary used a very good usage of language in hers when she was talking. Yes, this is what I could, this is what I felt during the speeches for the usage of the word for today. Thank you. Back to you, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing an unusual word. Thank you. Some people use a word that's really simple and always in use, and everyone uses it. Obviously, that's an option. But when you pick a word we may not be familiar with, and if you say it wrong, you sound like you're having a little too much to drink of that beer that we saw on the table topics. We certainly don't want to say that, but we'd like to now give a quick recap of our meeting. We started just a couple of minutes later than the scheduled time frame, so we need to make a decision whether we add that extra 5 minutes or beg, please, please, please have our players arrive on time, or 5 or 10 minutes early to check their videos and their audios. I'm usually on 15 minutes ahead with Raghu. Check everything out so we can start on time and end on time. It helps rather than rushing against the agenda. Please, 5 or 10 minutes early would be appreciated. I thought that all of the meeting roles were well filled. We did drop a speaker today, but we were able to also fill in an evaluator for someone who was not online as of yet. Thank you to each of you who've participated. We will, in fact, turn control of this meeting back over to our Toastmaster, but today was our premier time of doing a general evaluator, sharing the MC role with the Toastmaster of the day, for which I thank you. Back to you, Raghu.
Thank you for taking up the maiden general evaluator role, distinguished Toastmaster Susan. There's pathways for professionals. It's not just because you are here in the club of Toastmasters for professionals, but trust me, there's always learning. Now we had talked about all this. Let me tell you something. If you take membership in gym and then you sit at home, relaxing, sleep on the bed, can you build your apps? No, it doesn't happen like that. My first mentor told me, Raghu, you either do a speech or take a role in each meeting that you attend. This will help you enhance your skills. Second thing, do not wait Just like you lost your girlfriend or boyfriend at school or college, waiting for them to come forward or waiting for the time, right time. This is for you. When you're asked to come forward for table topics, don't wait. Don't wait when you are asked to take a roles. Don't wait when you're asked to give a speech. If you relax, if you don't do that, then you are losing an opportunity of learning. Third thing is do something that you think you cannot do. Challenge yourself. These roles may look difficult, but we all have come from that place. Unless you do practice, unless you learn that, when will you do it? What is your excuse for not doing it? Think about it. Keep challenging yourself. Keep growing to become a better version of yourself. And Toastmasters is all about becoming a better version of yourself. And that's what you do in your professional career too, right? When you become your better version, then you are up for your promotion. You're up for your growth. Even as a parent, you're up for that growth as better parent. I have enhanced and improved my communication with my wife. We don't fight anymore. It's just table topics. It's a different thing that she gets unlimited time for our table topic, but while she times my table topic. It's a different thing that we do practice table topics even while we drive our car in the long journeys. And that has helped communication for even my children. That has helped me to become a better father at home. It has helped me become a better co-worker at office. I had trouble over stuttering. I was able to overcome that practicing my speeches. I had overcome connecting my brain with my communication. I always had that difficulty where I used to read half the email, jump and react to it. But then now I reread my emails at least 3 to 4 times before sending them. I reread all the communication that comes several times before reacting to it or responding to it. Toastmaster taught me not to react, but just to respond. What about you? Are you going to decide today to start on the journey? Or are you going to just relax? Maybe next time, maybe after 2 weeks, maybe after 3 weeks, or 4, or maybe a month. What about you? With that note, I stop here and let me ask few of you, do you see this as an opportunity for you to grow and become a better version of yourself? I'll start with our friend Miguel, who has been a good guest, a good listener today. Miguel?
No, yes, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a lot of good presentations and information, and like you mentioned, my goal is obviously to be a better version of myself in the public speaking part, and obviously being accepting some of the feedback is going to be the most important one as I continue my journey.
Thank you, Miguel. Do you want to join as a member of this club, or do you want to wait and see?
Yeah, I do. Actually, yeah, it was very interesting. I'm excited. Definitely want to join.
Wonderful. Thank you, Miguel. One of us will certainly contact you offline, and then we'll talk about it. Delete.
Yeah, Raghu. It was a nice experience for me, and this is the feedback I want for the past 1 year that was missing from my life, and had a great challenge in, finding my college. So definitely I want to join, and I want to utilize this opportunity to get better of myself.
Thank you, Dilip. I'll connect offline, and then we'll see how we can take forward your membership with this club. Can I invite few of other guests who have joined today? Can I ask Doreen, our visiting Toastmasters, your feedback on the meeting today?
Hi, it was interesting. There was a lot more time going over the pathways, but I thought probably because you have a lot of new people, I assume that's not something that's always done, or is that like done the first time of a month or something like that? But it was good. Yeah, no, it was interesting. As you know, I've been a Toastmaster at Microsoft. I started in in fall, checking out. I've been auditing 4 different clubs at Microsoft, but I officially joined one of them in January. But of course, the corporate vice president I served left. And when you're an internal private club and you're no longer internal, that kind of makes it kind of tough. So I'm looking for a new home to pick up my new pathways. So I'll definitely be joining and checking it out. Another meeting next week and firming it up. It was great. Great to have a possibility. Yeah, I think of it as my mindful communication time.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining today.
So thank you for inviting me. Greatly appreciate.
Shukrat, what do you feel about this meeting? Do you look this club as an opportunity to grow yourself?
Yes, sir. First of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. After at the end of the meeting, I want to conclude that with an example, with a good example. When you take a small child to the ice cream shop in a hot summer and ask what you want to eat, as he says, I want to taste everything. After seeing the club and after listening the pathways, I'm also really interested in learning everything from the club. So I'm really looking forward. And after the meeting, I will definitely contact Sir Raghu sir to join the club. Thank you.
Thank you, Shukrat. Milind sir, what is your feedback?
Oh, very nice, very nice. And especially this session which you took, pathways. I heard just now somebody talking that the session was long, but what happens is that at Toastmasters and in clubs, I have seen that many times we just get onto pathways without realizing the path which we are taking. But when I say path, I don't mean the Toastmasters path. I mean the bigger picture. What is this pathways designed by Toastmasters International expecting out of us or going to give us? I think that bigger picture, very rarely somebody presents it. And today I'm very thankful to Raghu for you having shown us the bigger picture. And like just now Sukrut also said, although I've been a Toastmaster for 6-7 years, I still now am feeling more excited to start one more path, Raghu. And that's because of your session. Kudos to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that compliment. Vikash, is this the opportunity that you want to take it up and then challenge yourself to be the next and better version?
Of course, sir. Actually, I am here first time, so I don't have idea much more about the other things, costing and other benefits as you described well. So of course, I am also looking forward. And after that, I will decide what I have to do. And I am here first time to actually see what are going there and how you used to do all these things. Thank you, sir. I like it best.
Sure. Thank you. Please keep joining. I'm sure you can make a better decision after joining 2 to 3 meetings. Can I ask our other guests who have joined, Rajat Gupta?
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Actually, I've been the part of Toastmaster for past 1 month, and I'm also a member of some other club. But when my friend asked me to join here as a question, I see so just going into different clubs and seeing different people speaking with different style definitely gives me a different idea of speaking and gives me a different sense of confidence that there's not a one style that we can only speak. And today attending the meeting, listening to different speaker and listening to you as well as a confident and a calm speaker that I myself wanted to achieve. Definitely it was a great experience, and I would like to be a part of a club something like yours and would ponder over this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajat. Sure. Thank you very much. Hasina?
Yeah, thank you. It's a wonderful session. Yeah, I love this. Actually, I'm the member of the Mother Toastmasters. Yeah, so yeah, it's well organized and I enjoyed a lot. Thoroughly enjoyed a lot. So organizing. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Mahet? Mahet? No problem. Narzimha?
Yeah, then thank you. Thank you very much, Raju sir. Actually, I am very excited to attend for this session. Actually, I'm just try to understand this Toastmasters. Actually, it is completely new subject for me. Just I'm enjoying the initial sessions, and others I will keep attending for more sessions and try to come as per the required levels. Thank you for inviting for these sessions. I'm very much grateful. It's completely new angle, actually, as far as my knowledge is concerned. I'll keep on associating with you people, and I will try my to improve myself in this aspect also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Narzima. I'm sure we can together work and become or help each other. That's what works in Toastmasters. Synergy of working together. So our dearest frequent guest visiting Toastmaster, Dimary Shaiking. What is your feedback on today's meeting?
So I just wanted to say that the perspicaciousness of your presentation was gathered by everyone, obviously, because it did such a great job that they got it. And I will be in touch with Susan because she and I have a lot to talk about. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Is the recording going on? No?
Yes.
I'll stop that.
I believe you are